Okay, Addison, I have your ASCII code program here, and you made it work, but you did it the hard way. You did a lot extra work you didn't need to do. So let's look at it and talk about that. Oh, and you didn't do the pseudocode, which for this one be real easy. Have a quote, convert it to ASCII and print it, convert it back to letters and print it. I mean, very short pseudocode on this one, but you missed those points because you didn't do any pseudocode. But let's look at your program. All right, you forgot to put the name and date and stuff up here. You have the purpose of it is ASCII code. I'm going to take out some of these spaces just so I can get more of it on the screen at the same time. This Python doesn't really care if there's extra spaces or not. I just wanted to see more of it. You got your main function. That's great. And then you did every letter one by one and had it converted to ASCII. And it looks like it's a Bethelite because you didn't put any spaces in there, but and you have all your ASCII code down here. Now let's run this. We've got an error down here, which means that looks fine. So the error is probably here. So if I look at that, you've got an opening parentheses. You need another closing parentheses. Let's check it again. Still an error. Oh, look, you didn't close this one. That created an error. 69. Character 69 didn't. So you're missing two closing parentheses. Let's see if that fixed it. Okay, that fixed it. So here's all the ASCII code that you printed from all the letters you typed in one by one. And then be the liar. Oh, wait, no, I think you have the wrong ASCII one because if that's supposed to be the light like you had up here, this should be 84, I believe. Now it's be the light. So you had the wrong ASCII character right there. So this basically does what it said, but you did it the hard way because I don't know if you looked up all of these and you did these letter by letter. So I'll tell you what, now I'd like you to take this program and do this quote. There's a theory which states that if anyone ever discovers exactly what the universe is for and why it is here, it will instantly disappear and be replaced by something even more bizarre and inexplicable. There's another theory which states this has already happened. Douglas Adams, the restaurant in the universe. So, yeah, I want you to do this quote next. You think you can do that in less than 100 lines? I can do this in less than 10 lines. If we go to page 5, of the decoding ASCII lesson and scroll down to the sample program, this is probably what you were looking at, that had all the individual letters and then all the ASCII. But if you would have went over here to slide 3 and 4, here's slide 4. Here's the whole quote, just typed out as a sentence. And then it is, look, when you run it, it's converted to ASCII and printed. That's a lot easier than having to do letter by letter. So I'm going to copy this code right here. I'm just going to copy those 4 lines. I'm going to go back to your program. And I'm going to replace all of these print statements with that code. I need to fix the indentation because that was off. And I need to print code message. Okay, and I'm going to change the quote to the other quote that I was saying that I wanted you to do. So I'm going to paste that in there. There's a theory that states if everyone does, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I want to take out that empty space there. And I'm going to change this to just a single quote because I don't want to confuse Python there. And put another double quote at the end. Let's see, I'm going to take out any extra spaces on there. Okay, so I've got the message that I want to convert. I have an empty list right here, code message, empty list. And then I create a loop and it says for m in message. This is message. So it's going to go through one character at a time. And it's going to convert it to ASCII, and append means add, right? It's going to add it to that list, one character at a time. And then I'm going to print that list. And I think there's a carriage return right here on line 6. Let me take that out and put it. So this is all going to be one long line. Message all the way down to the end. One very long line. And there's my list. Let's run it, see if this works now. Oh, it does. Look at all the ASCII code. There's all the ASCII code for that huge quote I put up there. It converted it to a list right here, added it to my list, character by character by character by character, and then I printed it. Now I want to use this ASCII and make it back into a sentence. So if I go back to that lesson that I was just talking about and go back to the third slide, look, this has a list with ASCII and it converts it back. So I'm going to just copy this code right here, those 4 lines. Go back to your program and replace your print ASCII line. So this creates a new message, just an empty quote. And it's going to go through a loop. But this time I want to go through my list, all this ASCII code line by line. So I'm going to say 4M in code message, because that's what I named my list, was code message right there. And I'm going to take little spaces out here too, just so I can show more of that on at the same time. So since code message is the name of my list, I'm going to use this loop to go 4M in code message, and it's going through character by character and add it to my blank new message. And then I'll print the new message right here. So let's clear it and run that. There is a theory which states that if ever anyone discovers exactly what you see, there it is. There's all of the quote, first the ASCII, and then now if I want to make it look a little better, I can put a blank line between there. So before I print the message, I'll just print an empty line. So then when I run it, puts a space, makes it a little easier to read. But there is all of the ASCII code for this huge long quote I have up here. And there is the decoded message. And all of that simply in just a few lines. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with my blank line. If I only had the blank line, it's 9 lines of code, not counting the define main and main and that kind of stuff. But just the actual code to do that is really just like 9 or 10 lines. Did the whole thing right there. So you did a lot of extra work, is what I'm saying. You didn't really have to look up every ASCII character or do every character one by one. If you'd just went a little bit farther into the lesson, because you stopped looking at slide 1 when slide 4 and slide 3 did everything you needed right there in a real simple, concise, easy way. I'll get this feedback to you. You did it right. You just didn't do the pseudocode, didn't put your name and date at the top, but you did it the hard way. So see you in class.